welcome to Scale Car Garage. Well, I thought I would pull something else out of my collection to show you. It's kind of difficult to describe. It's something that every slot car racer would use. It's from the 1960s, and even in the 1960s it was viewed as a very interesting item. That's putting it kindly. Some would call it odd, much like myself. But I think you'll enjoy it. It's really a cool little thing. I'll stop bluthering, and let's get to another item out of the Scale Car Garage collection here for you to see, and I can even show you how it works. It actually does work. Actually does something. All right, enough. Let's get straight to it here on Scale Car Garage. There were many companies that were really taking part in the model car racing golden era, if you will, in the 1960s. One of the companies was Revell. Revell was really heavily involved, from having race cars both in 1/24th and 1/32nd scale that would go on tracks of their own design and manufacture. But not only were these tracks made for the home set market, they had a line of commercial tracks as well. And their involvement in the commercial side of the hobby, I imagine, brought this product along, and it was a very interesting product. Now, if you take a look at this, first of all, you gotta love the packaging. Look at this. Isn't that lovely? It's a lovely packaging. This is a hand controller. Yep. It looks unlike any hand controller you may have ever seen. But this is a hand controller, and it was marketed by Revell. It had this little booklet inside, and forgive me for putting on my glasses. There were some marketing points on the back, and allow me to read them to you. Track test these exclusive features. 1. Precision response. Instant acceleration and braking. Maximum torque at all speeds. You're always in full control. Wow, that sounds pretty good. Number 2, constantly cool. Now that was one issue, that rheostatic controllers would get warm. Some would get really quite hot, depending on the type of controller that they were. So number 2, consistently cool, even after hours of racing. No rheostats, no transistors, no vents. That's sounding pretty good so far. And here's the third point. Built-in track marshal. That's interesting. It buzzes when you're off the track or when your braids need checking. Copyright 1965 by Revell Incorporated, Venice, California, made in the United States, printed in the United States, patent applied for. It must have been a little successful because they issued different versions of this controller. So this was the first version, at least it's my understanding, and it's in a really kind of cool little plastic case that opens up, and it's kind of nondescript gray, and I would almost call that a navy blue plastic. It's got a bit of, looks navy blue to me. And then they got more creative with their marketing. This was the second generation of this controller. Look at that cool purple color of the plastic, and it's translucent. Beautiful packaging. I mean, look at, they display the product. Can you look at that? Isn't that cool? And again, it totally new concept in controllers. And it has the same, oh, now it has 4 points, excuse me. Totally new concept in controllers means 1, full torque at every speed. 2, super cool operation. 3, full range brakes. 4, no rheostats or transistors to burn out. See bottom of box for complete information. Well, let's do that. And there we see the bottom of the box. And allow me to read it for you. Totally new concept in controllers. Full torque at every speed. This all-new electromechanical controller, turns your car motor on and off hundreds of times a second. Full torque is generated in the motor at every speed. Full range brakes. Only the Revell control brakes the second you begin to let up on the button. Then, after the car brakes to the desired lower speed, the controller automatically quits braking and resumes power at the new speed. Yeah, that sounds pretty good to me. Super cool operation. Look at our case. There are no vents because there is no heat to let out. This controller really stays cool. Huh. No rheostats or transistors to burn out. The Revell control employs an entirely new concept. There are no heat-producing rheostats or transistors to get hot, burn out, and fail. You get long life and dependable operation. So this was copyright 1966 by Revell Inc. The previous one was 1965, so 65, 1966. Revell Inc., Venice, California, made in USA, printed in the USA. Isn't that something? Well, I think we should, let's see how well these work. At least this one anyway. I do have a couple that I actually use, believe it or not. So let's go to the track and see how these work. All right, so the Revell controller, all electronic, no rheostats, and not very well known, or at least if it is known, not very well loved, which is why it was really easy to get a whole bunch of them, which I did. And they came in two styles initially. The one in the packaging that I showed you earlier had gray, and I still say that looks more like a navy blue than a black plastic, but that's one. And then it also came in a lighter gray with the navy blue or black trigger. So I guess if you wanted two for your track, you would have an easy way to distinguish which lane was which. The interesting thing is, of course, you have the 3-pole connectors. There is a red, a black, and a green, not necessarily a white, but that's how you would hook it up to the track. So let's take one of these, hook it up to the track, and actually see if we get faster lap times with a known car. So why don't we do that? And you can see how these things really work. So hooking up the Revell controller is the same as you would hook up a conventional controller. Conventional controllers have red, black, and white. This Revell controller has red, black, and green. So the red is red. All right, here we go. The black plug goes to black. All right. And the green goes to white. Now we've connected our Revell controller. We can try moving a car. Well, let's see. Let's move that over here. Hopefully, let's see if it moves. It works. Well, let's see how well it works. I can't wait. So, the brakes only activate with a traditional controller when you release the trigger and then get back on the throttle. Not so with this Revell controller. Now, here's something that's really, really interesting. And first of all, when you first look at it, you think of it as being, well, actually, maybe you don't even realize what it is. But you can use it as a thumb controller, or believe it or not, as a index finger trigger controller. Both work. I'm going to try both. I prefer to, let's keep things as consistent as possible. So let's, since we set our previous times for the GTO using a trigger type controller with my index finger, I'm going to try operating this with my index finger. And honestly, that's the way I prefer operating this type of controller. So let's get to it. We're going to use the Ferrari 250 GTO that we built with the Revell body. So I thought at least Revell controller from the 60s, Revell 1/32 scale body from the 60s with a modern motor. But let's see if we can get close to our lap times using this 1960s Revell controller. Let's see what our lap times are like. Here we go. Right lane first. Wow. Oh, this is going to take a little while to get used to. It's so sensitive. But it brakes right away. Okay, I got to get braver here. That's it. A little faster. There we go. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. Oh, it brakes so well. Now I remember why I like these. Oh! Let's keep going. Wow, I really got to get used to this. Okay. It's so sensitive. It stops, it really does stop on a dime. Watch this. I'm gonna go, wow, that's amazing. Well, I guess it's time to try the left lane. Okay, so let's move the connectors over very carefully here. Green on white, go, black on black, go, and red on red, go. Now, let's move the car over to the left lane. Let's see what the lap times are like. Hopefully I've got the hang of this now, so, wow, anyway, let's see how I'm doing here. Whoa! Oh man, it is so cool. You just have to touch it. And as soon as you release it, the car brakes. Did you see that stop? Okay, I gotta settle down a little bit because this really works well. It's not warm. I didn't come out of the track, thankfully, so I didn't test the vibration aspect of it. But let's see what our lap times are like. All right, just to recap. Previously, with the rheostat controller in the right lane, the best lap was 8.396, second best lap 8.441, and the third best was 8.46. Now, in the left lane, previously, with the rheostat, the normal controller, if you want to call it that, 8.326, 8.328, 8.356. All right, so let's take a look at what we've done with the Revell controller. My goodness gracious, right lane, best lap, 8.316 on the 12th lap, which makes perfect sense because it took me a little while to get used to it. And then 8.410, 8.451. Wow. I was actually faster on the right lane than I was with the, I guess, standard controller, if you want to call it that. And on the left lane, 8.38. Oh my gosh, look at that. 8.395. Not quite as fast as it was before, but I'm still in the 8.3s. So, well, the fly in the ointment, if you will, is me, the nut behind the wheel. But still, I mean, the Revell controller works quite well. Wow, I'm really surprised and pleased. Well, there you have it, folks. The Revell Competition Control. I finally read the packaging. It says Revell Competition Control. I'm going to call it the Revell Competition Controller just because it's a controller, but I do enjoy using these. I forgot just how much fun it is to use, and their claims are correct. My goodness, the braking was really good. It took a little while getting used to it, but it's exceptionally sensitive on the throttle. And look at that packaging. Now, incidentally, if you are interested in getting one on that site, that auction site, if you want one to use, you want to get the one from 1965 with the kind of drab-looking plastic. The drab-looking plastic is really quite stable, and it works really well. The really cool, funky-looking plastic, for some reason, is not stable and tends to distort, and the controller does not work very well. It makes a great display piece, but if you're looking to use one, get one that doesn't look that great but performs well, and then as you're performing well, you've got something really cool to look at. I hope you enjoyed this take on another piece of my collection here in the garage. Thanks so much for bearing with me through this. I don't know about you, but I'm so excited. It works so well. And I'm going to keep driving because, of course, as I said, I have a few of these, and this one works really well. So till next time, thank you so much for joining me here at Scale Car Garage. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe.